Hello, lovely people. Welcome to another edition of our live show, the only live show based in China. You are, on our screen, you can see one beautiful lady on our screen. She is our special guest today, and she's no other person than Beatrice, an Italian currently in China. She is an opera singer and a teacher in one university in China. Without adulterating words and without saying much of her, let us welcome our special guest. Hi, Beatrice. Ciao.
Hi, ciao, ciao a tutti. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Dax, for having me here. And I don't know who is live, who will see this later, but hello to everyone. So, Dadia Hao. I am Beatrice, and as Dax said, I am from Italy, but I am now in China. I am in Nantong, Jiangsu province, since 3 years now, and I teach opera at Nantong University, but I am mainly an opera singer. So I am both at the same time opera singer, singing in concerts, and teacher every day at university.
Wow, interesting. I grew up as a Catholic, so I really love the Catholic hymns so much. And coming to meet somebody who is an opera singer, I was like, what? I have to have her on my show today. So you are an opera singer and a teacher. Can you even tell us what you really do in the university?
Of course. So, as I said, I studied as an opera singer in Italy. So I followed several years, I think 8 total years of conservatory. And now that I've been called here to prepare the students, the Chinese students that want to go to study in my same conservatory where I studied in Italy, I have to
Okay.
prepare them on for several different things. So, for example, the technique, vocal technique, because
Okay.
as you might know, Chinese music, Chinese opera is way different than Western opera, also in the technique used in the voice. And then repertoire, because very often they don't really know much about Western music, Western opera, not only Italian, but also French, German, Russian, even. And so at the same time, I have to help them prepare vocally,
Yeah.
also like repertoire wise, and then movement on stage and what to expect in Italy. It's several different things at once. Since I am an Italian, of course, I can help with pronunciation, with all of
Yeah.
this at the same time. Yes.
Wow. Interesting. So I'm just curious to know, do you teach them in Italian or in English or Chinese?
Ah, difficult question. So I am supposed to teach them in Italian because all of my students follow this special course, a double degree that will bring some of them to Italy. So they start studying Italian the first year of university, and then they go on for 3, 4 years. Um, but let's say that not all of them maybe are equally talented with languages, or even not all of
Yeah.
them are so interested or study that much. You know, there are different levels even inside of a same class. So I end up using Italian and English with the students that are maybe more advanced, more motivated, and more ready, let's say. And then Chinese with those who are a little bit more behind, maybe in the languages. And in the
Yeah.
end, I kind of mix all of them. So it's an Italian, Itali English, Chinese, a very mix of the three languages.
Wow,
It's very
interesting. You
interesting,
miss
believe me.
Chinese language, then that means your Chinese must be very good.
Not really. I studied Chinese in Italy at university for 2 years, but I kind of forgot it when before coming here. Then when I arrived here, like improved so much because I needed it. But my colleagues' Chinese is way better than mine. I am maybe one of the worst because I prefer to use Italian and English as much as I can because I want
Yeah.
the students to also be ready in case they go to Italy where nobody will speak Chinese at all. So that's why.
Wow, interesting. I'm not sure you are the right person I should ask this question, but since I don't have your students here, I just have to ask you, why do Chinese even have the interest of learning opera? Because I know, yeah, why?
Um, I mean, I cannot give you a real answer. As you said, you should ask them. But I know that in China in general there is an interest for Western opera, and that's also why I actually studied Chinese in university because I got the choice between Chinese and Arabic, but I was already studying opera at the time. So I thought maybe the Chinese are more interested in this type of music. And I had friends that studied music, studied opera with me, Chinese friends in Italy.
Yeah,
Every time that I went to competitions, there were always some Chinese that were very talented and maybe even winning in front of
oh,
Italians. So I think there is a general interest. I don't really know why. I'm sure that there is some culture. Someone brought it in China. Someone brought
yeah,
Italian and French opera in China. But my student in particular um, study opera because they want to go to Italy and to have an opportunity there to actually also study abroad. And so the motivated students that I have tell me that they're
yeah,
interested because they also want to, experience this other country
culture.
and studying in another country. So opera is the way.
Wow, interesting. To our viewers who are watching live, today our special guest is an opera singer and teacher in China. And today she's sharing her story with us, all her experiences in China, and how she even came to China. Wow, interesting. You have lived in China for over 3 good years now.
Yes.
Growing up as an Italian, do you remember the first time you heard the name China growing up?
Um, I don't really know. I think so. I grew up in a family with a lot of culture. We traveled a lot, especially with my mom growing up. So I'm not sure when the first time I heard about China was. But the first time that I actually thought about it was when I started university, and as I said, I had to choose a language. So then I also started getting interested in the culture, in the differences. So my teacher in university really made me think, oh wow, that's a very different country with very different uses and food, of course, and people. So mm, let's say I don't know when I first heard the word China, but the first time that I really got interested in what's happening uh,
Yeah.
up here is in university in my master's, and of course I knew Chinese people even before, but that's when I really got the interest and the curiosity, of course.
Wow, interesting. For me personally, I was just curious about China growing up because of Chinese movies, how they use chopsticks to eat. I was just curious, but when it got to a time for me to choose China, I never chose China. I prefer to go to the US as compared to China. But
Yeah.
then China, US couldn't work out, so I I had to opt for China. What made you develop that interest to come to China? Even not even coming to China, you said even to choose the Chinese language. What made you develop that interest?
So I never really had this dream as you are telling me, but a lot of other friends also telling me of going to the US. I grew up, as many Italians, many Europeans, watching American movies and TV series. So it's very funny to say, but I felt like I already knew that. I already knew what is in the US, how it works. I was not especially attracted. I went to the US a couple times for vacation with my parents, but
Yeah,
I didn't fall in love with that place. Whereas China always sounded a little, very actually exotic. And when I got the opportunity to start studying it, since Chinese is also kind of a musical language if you think about the tones, and I'm a musician
yeah,
first of all, then I got the curiosity and I got actually the reason to study Chinese and to get interested in the country. um, then, as I said, I chose Chinese because I had the opportunity to study it. It was not
yeah.
really my choice to start it, but then when I began studying it and really working hard to learn the language, I also fell in love with with what I found out about China and about culture and literature and art and music and all of it. So
Wow.
yeah, it was gradual. It was not a curiosity that I
Uh,
had as a child. It just grew in the years. And then I came
w-
here in 2019 for the first time to sing,
interesting.
and now
Interesting.
I'm
Before
living
you
here.
even talk about you coming to China, we have one of our viewers sending love to us,
Ooh,
Chilling Liu. Yeah, and
hi.
to all our viewers who are watching live, we have our opera singer here who is sharing her life story and experience in China and before coming to China with us. Wow. Me personally, I really love this Chinese culture, chopsticks, and everything. But when I had the opportunity to come to China, I nearly gave up. The language was so difficult. I started falling in love with the language because I felt how Chinese are so friendly. Even when I was not able to speak the language, they use Google Translate to communicate with me. So I was like, wow, if I speak the language, it will create more opportunities. What made you also fall in love, have some love or affection for learning Chinese language in Italy?
Well, in Italy, as I said, I used it. It was more because I needed it for university. But since I when I started, I had this dream of one day using it in China, and so of course I worked hard not only for the votes but also for actually being able to use it once I got the opportunity to come here. And when I ended up coming here right after the year after I graduated to university, I came here for a festival to sing in Chinese. So in the end, all of my study was actually finally used in singing. So I went to Suzhou to participate to this amazing festival that is called I Sing, and I stayed in Suzhou for a month. Then we had
Okay.
lessons every day of music, of singing, of Chinese songs, of Chinese language, and in the end, we got the opportunity to actually perform all of these Chinese songs, and I keep using these Chinese songs even today. So I have many in my repertoire, and yeah, and then I kept studying it even privately. Even when I was back in Italy, even during COVID, when I was blocked in Italy, I studied it once a week online just to keep, the language. But then, of course, when I got here, it
Yeah.
it became way better.
Interesting. So after coming to China, during your first month, what was your first experience?
My first month when I came for the first time in China in 2019, um, the the differences were many, but of course we were also a little bit sheltered because we were not really in the real world, let's say like this, because we
Okay.
had classes, we always had someone helping us. I think the example that you made about Chinese trying to communicate in any way possible, even using the apps, reminded me of when I went to buy a concert dress in Suzhou.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know it, but in Suzhou there is
So-
the biggest mall for wedding
yeah.
dresses and concert
Yeah. Yeah.
elegant gala dresses. And I went there alone, no Chinese friend helping me, and I wanted this dress, and I found a way to communicate with the little that I remembered from my
Yeah.
university times. And they used the app to help me as much as they could. And it was a very strong experience because it was maybe the first time that I really was one on one with Chinese people that didn't understand me. So uh, it was powerful to feel like they really wanted to help me somehow, and I was very proud of myself for actually buying the dress in the end. So I did it with my own strength and the help of the Chinese sellers, of course. So yeah, that's maybe the first experience that I had with Chinese in China.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Then I think during your first days, you didn't have big challenge with language barrier. What are some of the other cultural shocks you had? Before you even talk, we have some of our viewers who are watching live. Antoine says congratulations, and we have Prince K both also sending love in. Yeah. So what was some of the cultural shocks you experienced when you came?
Um, the first things, maybe, of course, as in any new country, are the foods because I'm used to Italian cuisine. We are
Yeah.
one of the best in the world, if not the best. So I'm used to eat very good food. And the first times I could not find what I was used to. So I got a little, maybe not shocked, but I didn't really know where to look. But I'm also very, very food curious. So I found things that I liked. I found ways to enjoy good food still, even if it was, of course, not Italian. And I, to the day, enjoy Chinese food a lot. So that was maybe the first cultural shock coming from Italy.
Yeah.
Then, of course, many other little things. I know that it sounds very trivial and stupid, but the bathrooms were so shocking for me at the beginning. I didn't expect it to be everywhere like that. Of course, I got used
Okay.
now. Yes, in Italy, it's not normal. It's almost nowhere like the Chinese bathrooms. So I was a little shocked by that, but it's, of course, a secondary thing. And now, maybe the fact that you must use the phone pretty much for everything. So when I first arrived in 2019, maybe I didn't
Yeah.
notice it as much because I only stayed for a month at the beginning. So I had some paper, some cash money, and I could use it in several places. But now that I live here regularly, like for many years, I realize that when I go back to Italy for some months, I'm not used to bringing my wallet with me and not just the phone. I'm used to just have my phone and that's it. It's
Yeah.
difficult because everything is in Chinese very often in the apps, but it's also pretty convenient if you think about it. So I I like it. I like this fact. Yeah, someone wrote Chinese
Wow.
food is great. Yeah, I never said the contrary. I love Chinese food. It's just that from Italian food is way different, I think.
Wow, interesting. Yes, someone is also sending love here. He said Chinese food is great, and
Hmm.
Kick Rewind is saying shout out to StreamYard on Hinge. Anyways, to our viewers who are watching live, our special guest is Beatrice, an opera singer and teacher in Nanton University, and today she's sharing her experience with us. Wow, interesting. You came to China in 2019.
Hmm.
Then in 2020 there was COVID. Were you in China or you left?
No, I was in Italy. I only came in China in 2019 for a month. Then I went back to Italy. I came back to China again, but in Tianjin this time for 2 weeks for another project. And then I went back to Italy again and I stayed there during COVID. And then I got this opportunity to come to China again to work for a longer period. I got the offer the end of 2020, and then I actually arrived here in April, end of April, so May 2021. So it's exactly 3 years ago. And I was supposed to be here only for 8 months, but
Yeah.
then I thought I like here. You know, I have friends. I have a boyfriend. I don't want to go back home right away. So I stayed 6 more months and then it became 3 years. And I'm still here.
Wait, are you saying you wanted to only live in China for 6 months, only for you to
That's,
realize that you've already stayed for 3 years already?
yeah. The first project was to stay 8 months. That's my first contract. But then at the
Oh,
end of that contract, I didn't feel ready to go back yet. So I stayed more. But I'm not the only one that has this story. I heard a lot of people that said this. Oh, I was supposed to stay, I don't know, 6 months or 1 year, and I'm being here for 10. So it's a common thing in China. Why? China, what are you doing to us foreigners?
exactly. That's the question I wanted to ask. And so many people always say, I just wanted to stay for just a year after my school. And by the time they realize they've lived for about 10 years, 15 years. For you personally, what is China making you stop thinking of going back to Italy or elsewhere?
I never said I stopped thinking about going back to Italy or elsewhere. I just say that for now, I enjoy my life here. And in the past years, I thought about it, of course. And I realized that here I had some opportunities that I might not have in other countries because I felt like my job as an opera singer and teacher was appreciated. I feel that I can give a lot to my students since I am preparing them in Italian, in opera, and that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, this doesn't mean that I will be here forever. I don't know how long still I will be here, but uh, I found something in China that made me want to stay. And I know this also happened to many other friends, and so I understand it. When I heard it from my friends before coming to China, I didn't think it was possible, but then I learned to love this place and the people, of course, and that's why here I am.
Wow, interesting. Prince K Bot is saying Italian food is the best,
Of
followed
course.
by followed
He
by
will know.
Ghanaian food. What makes Ghanaian food the
Ah,
second?
ah.
And
Now,
Han
if we
Chuan
start
is saying
about we start talking about Italian, Chinese, Ghanaian food, will be a bad fight. Careful.
Han Chuan is saying Hangzhou is a a
Livable
lovable
place.
place, a livable
Yeah.
place, yeah.
I
And
went there once
Qingdao,
vacation. Qingdao is also
yeah,
livable. Yeah. I also went there. Let
and Latri.
La Traviata, yes, it's not written like that, but I understand. It's nice. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
opera, very famous opera
Wow.
that I cannot sing
Interesting.
because it's not for my voice, but it's a very nice opera.
Interesting. Today, I want us to talk much about being an opera singer in China.
Yes.
Actually, I've been in China for over 6 good years, and this is my first time to ever meet someone being an opera singer in China. I don't know if you know much of opera singers in China, but I know there are
Um,
very few.
it depends. Like Chinese opera singers, I'm sure that there are many because, of course, it's their own country.
Yeah,
I know some foreigners. Of course, my colleague also in university here in Nantong. You also met her, and
yeah,
there are other opera singers that I met over the years, even through the Suzhou program that I talked about. Um, of course, the quantity of foreign opera singers is nothing compared to how many there are in how many Italian or even French or other European
yeah.
countries in Europe or in the US. Um, but it's not so rare as you might think. It's just that maybe you don't go in the places where opera singers are. Let's say this. But yeah,
Probably,
there are
maybe.
concerts around. Sorry?
I said maybe, maybe.
But I will bring you in the right places to meet opera singers. Don't worry. I will invite you to concerts.
All right, sure. Yeah, so you said that it's like in China, if you are an opera singer, you are more appreciated. Are you saying in Italy, opera singers are not appreciated?
Nah, I'm not saying this. I'm just saying that, of course, to come to China, you need to be brave. It's very far. It's a very difficult language and a ton of other things. So the competition, if you want to call it like this, is way less in China. That's why I say I'm more appreciated than in Italy, because in Italy there are a lot of very, very, very good singers, and of course they're all Italian, so they
Yeah.
there is more competition. They're all on the same level or even better. Of course, I'm not the best opera singer you can find, but in China it's more rare. So when once they, I don't know, the university in my case or theaters have an opera singer available that is also Italian, so can sing in Italian with perfect pronunciation, it's more appreciated, of course. That's what I
Oh,
meant.
wow. Okay, I got it now. So you mentioned there are several opportunities here. What are those opportunities? I'm sure there are other opera singers who will be watching pre-recorded or even live. What are those opportunities?
Um, so I must make a difference. Let's say the teaching opportunities and the singing opportunities. Teaching
Yeah.
opportunities, I was lucky to find this spot because I work also with the conservatory where I studied, who actually chose me to come here. I am not
Okay.
sure on how an Italian or a foreign singer could find a job in a university without connections, let's say this, without knowing that they are looking for exactly as an Italian teacher in that exact moment. But
Yeah.
singing, so concerts wise, I feel that when they're looking for an Italian, someone singing Italian opera, or even like foreign opera in general, um, there is a web of connections of people that know each other and that know that there is availability of opera singers or of singers in general, because I say that I'm an opera singer, but I actually sing also other genres. So if they if in concerts where I sang previously someone heard me and they remember this singer, maybe they will get my contact and call me in other events. Actually, if someone that is listening wants a singer, I am available for a lot of things, for concerts, operas, whatever you want. Yes, no, I'm kidding. But this
Interesting.
is really how it works here, I feel. And in these past years, I had uh, some concerts in several cities. Most of them were because I knew someone that heard me sing and that remembered me and called me again. Some of them are maybe musician friends that needed a singer for a project and contacted me. But I'm not saying that Italy or Europe don't have these opportunities. I don't want to say this, it's not true at
Yeah.
all. But just since there are so few of us here in China at the moment, it's maybe easier to get called in for concerts, for events. Yeah, that's my opinion. Of course, maybe someone watching us thinks differently, and I'm open to discussion. And maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for being open about that. Yeah. Sunny is here. Is giving thumbs ups here. I know there are several opera singers in Italy, and among all the opera singers, they chose only you to come and, let's say, represent the whole Italy in Nanton University. What makes you so special to be chosen among many?
You're flattering me, but it's not like this. Um, I came here because, as I said, I was sent by my conservatory where I studied. So, is the teachers, the dean from that conservatory, that for the project that is in act right now, that is a double degree program, they decided they needed a person on site, so in China, to teach the students that need to go to my conservatory. So, not just in Italy, in my conservatory, in the one where I
Okay.
studied. And so they asked my teacher from where I studied there, and if there was any of her former students that she felt was good enough and ready to go and teach in another country. And so my former teacher, my actual teacher actually, and the dean and the teachers from that conservatory chose me as the best option to come here. And maybe they knew that I studied Chinese before, so of course it was not like throwing me in China without even one word of the language. There were
Yeah.
probably many reasons that they chose me, but this doesn't mean that I'm representing the whole Italy. This would be too much. I'm representing the conservatory of my city, that is Siena, in the beautiful Tuscany. And so, yeah, I represent that conservatory, but not the whole Italy.
Okay, I got it now. To our viewers who are watching live, our special guest is Beatrice, an opera singer and teacher in Nanton University, a university in China. And today she's sharing all her experience with us. Sunny07 is saying, "This is informative. Great job, bro. Thank you very much for your compliments, and we are here because of you." For me, you are saying maybe you are good or what, but you got an award. You were awarded as one of the best opera singers in 2018.
I was awarded in my in that particular competition, but you are always flattering me too much. I, of course, I had some good jobs, some good opportunities in Italy, in Europe. I sang in several theaters, so I am I am a singer. I mean, I'm not just a student that finished it, graduated, and then came here to teach. But there are a lot that are way better than me. So yeah, I always have to get better. This is the truth, you know. You never stop learning in anything, in languages, in anything, in your work, of any type of work. But in music, you always have to, work on yourself. In my case, on my voice, on my ability, on my technique, on my repertoire. I have to always study new things. So I don't think anybody can say he's the best ever. Um, so I I am happy with with what I did. I hope that I can do more. I hope that maybe one day I will go back to Italy or Europe and keep singing in theaters or keep doing it in China. Who knows? You know, it's a constant study, a constant improvement, and
Yeah.
learning from other singers, of course. So
Yeah, I'm really asking these kind of questions because I want my audience to know the kind of qualities people should have before they can be opera singers.
yeah.
And yeah, to our viewers who are watching live, yeah, thank you very much for staying tuned. And those who will be watching pre-recorded, do you think somebody can be an opera singer without that natural beauty?
Without natural beauty.
Yeah,
Yes, of course. That's not the most important thing. The most important things are, of course, some talent, because we keep saying that we can teach anybody to sing, but this doesn't mean that we can teach anybody to sing well. You need at least a little bit of ear. You have to recognize if you're singing the wrong notes, for example. This can be taught, but it just requests more work, you know. So if you start by being talented enough, um, it's already a very good step. Then a lot of patience, and but this is for every instrument. I'm talking about singing, of course, because it's my job, my instrument, but every single instrument you need to really be serious about it, be patient in the study, be regular, be consistent, and try a lot of different songs, different repertoires, different competitions. You have to keep trying all the time, and that's also one of the things that is that makes or breaks a singer, a musician, is if you get easily discouraged, you cannot do it as a job, because you will receive so many no's before you get a yes. So many auditions that I failed, and then I got finally one that got me on a stage doing singing a role in an opera, and I got so many concerts where I hoped that I would be chosen and I was not chosen, or so many competitions where I thought, oh, I'll be very strong in this competition. I will
yeah,
at least be in the finals, and then I'm not even in the semifinals. You know, there are so many things to consider. You need patience, 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 and support, because without the support of the people around you, you might really easily get discouraged and think, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or so, yeah. And of course, the languages help. So I speak several languages, and especially Italian, of course, is my language, but French and German are very important in the opera world. So um, it's important to actually start studying those languages if you are really interested and motivated in becoming an opera singer. Then, of course, there are several levels. If you want to
yeah,
just, you know, enjoy singing and maybe prepare some songs and entertain your guests for dinner, then you just need a good voice teacher, a good technique teacher, and that will be enough. But if you want to make a job out of it, persistence, as they're saying in the comments, absolutely, persistence is the key, and support, and I must say some money also, because nobody pays for your auditions, for your trips, for even to access some competitions, you need to pay a fee,
Yeah.
and you have to travel. You have to maybe sleep in another city, in another country, even just for those 5 minutes of audition or 5 minutes of competition. So yeah, it's not the easiest job in the world, let's say, but it gives a lot of, at least for me, it gives me a lot of happiness when I'm on stage. It gives me satisfaction, gives me excitement. So it's worth it. From
Wow.
your question in the in the presentation of the video, is teaching opera worth it in China? And singing is worth it. Teaching opera, I'm starting to feel, yeah, it's also worth it, because I can pass to my students the same passion that I feel that I have. I'm trying
Yeah.
to give it to them. Hopefully um, they get it.
Well, wow, interesting. You have shared a lot, and I'm sure this will really help anybody who is trying to enter into the field of opera. And I'm very sure my viewers are just telling me backstage that's when is she singing an opera song or something. They are asking me, but I'm telling them they should wait. That time will come where you give
I
us
might
some.
even disappoint you that I can't, because opera, like singing, is complex, meaning that um, I can't sing. I can sing something by sitting down, but it won't get to the point where it would get if you were outside, or you were in a theater, or you were in a concert hall. It will just sound wrong, if you let me say it like this. You
Yeah,
can listen to my YouTube channel if you want. That's a little bit better. And also, I need preparation. I need to warm up. You know, it's not, people only see the moment where the singer is on stage and is singing,
yeah,
but you forget all of the preparation before. And not, I'm not talking about preparation as in studying the songs or studying the words or studying the notes, but I'm talking about warming your voice, preparing psychologically to actually give an exhibition, to give a part of yourself to who's listening. So when people ask me, "Oh, you're an opera singer, sing something," it's as if you were asking a ballet dancer, "Oh, you're a ballet dancer, just dance something in front of me, maybe in the middle of the street or on the metro," or
yeah.
it's not really something you can ask. Or you would not ask a teacher, "Oh, you're a teacher, teach me something." You can't really do that, right? Or I don't know, any other job, you would not do it. You only do it
Yeah,
with singers because you think, oh, they already have their voice there. They don't need an extra instrument. They don't need extra things. But it's not really fair, I think, to ask. So, but if you want, my YouTube channel is open, and you can ask for videos. I have many. You can invite me to sing in a concert, of course. Yes.
okay, wow. I want us to talk before we are out time. We have just few minutes to end this discussion, and I've learned so much about being an opera singer so far. How difficult is it teaching, especially not anybody Chinese students, where there's this language barrier? How difficult it is?
I have to say it is pretty difficult. Um, not just because of the like because the language is Chinese, but in general, teaching voice to a foreigner, um, it's a big challenge because when, of course, um, I studied singing in Italian, so many of the terms that my teacher and teachers used were in Italian, and now I have to translate them maybe in English because
Mm.
in Chinese it's already too hard, you know? So already I'm translating something, and I'm translating also my feelings of when I sing. And so the the best way is mostly to show with your body directly. So I sing a lot in my classes actually, because I have to show, oh, this is what the sound should be like. Can you imitate it? Or I try to use examples that they can get, that they can
Understand.
understand. I use a lot of metaphors of things that they can feel. So one of my favorite metaphors, one of my favorite examples that I use and that I change depending on who my students are, is you have to. So when you sing, you have to open your throat, inside.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? If I tell you, Dax, open your throat, you will say, what do you want me to do? I don't know what does it mean? And I cannot show you because it's inside of
Yeah.
my throat. I cannot open, and show you. So I tell you, imagine you have a hot potato at the end of your throat, and it's so hot that you have to open. That's the movement. And for my Chinese
Wow.
students, I say,
Mm.
imagine that you have a very, very hot jiaozi and you have to, make it a little bit
Swallow
colder.
them.
So
Mm.
jiaozi. And then, you kind of invent new things to help. Or for example, sometimes I use the idea of imagine that you're smelling something bad to lift these muscles. And with the Chinese students, I say, imagine that you're smelling chou tofu. It always works. Believe me, they always know what I mean.
Wow.
So it's
Now,
also kind of creative. You have to be creative in teaching.
interesting. I must say that now you are satisfied. I am satisfying you as an opera coach to anybody who wants to be an
Sure.
opera teacher in China. Yeah, if they need any, if they want to teach opera in China, they need you to coach them because it's not easy.
No, you have to consider a lot of aspects. Yes, that absolutely. But I'm open if you if you have question. Anybody listening, even in the pre-recorded version of the video, if you want, I'm here. I can help as much as I can, of course, with my experience. I'm not an expert, of course. I've been here only for 3 years, but I got my experiences, and I can help who wants.
Wow.
So thank
We
you.
have Prince K both saying Jiayo and Han Tuan saying you are very unique being a polyglot and an opera singer. Indeed, you are very, very unique.
Thank you.
How has this teaching been? Do you see yourself still teaching opera?
Um, I have to be honest, I didn't see myself as a teacher before, but during COVID, I started teaching Italian because I also have a master's in Italian teaching, so I can also do that. And I started actually liking the idea of teaching. Both my parents are teachers, so I have some examples in the family. And
Yeah.
uh, and then when I got this opportunity to teach singing, I was scared because I didn't have that much experience in my past, but I'm liking it. So I'm also learning a lot. By teaching, I'm also learning on my own voice. So I think I would like to keep doing this in China, of course, because I like it here, but also abroad in other countries. Why not? Yes, it could be, uh, it could go on. I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. There's a current trending Chinese song. Growing up, I've never heard any Chinese song which has become so popular than this song. And people term that song as woman cheat.
Yes, everybody knows
Actually,
that song now.
that is not that song. That is not the title, but that is why how people are titling it and everything. Are you familiar with that song?
Yes, I heard it many times. I don't know it by
Wo-
heart, but yes, I know that song definitely. I don't think there is anybody who doesn't know that song right now.
I
It's a
I
very
think
common.
my viewers are saying they will be very happy to hear you sing some parts or any Chinese song that you love that you can sing for us. Prince K Bot is here listening.
K-Boat is here listening. Oh, then I have to sing. For all of our viewers, K-Boat is my lovely boyfriend, so of course I have to sing. Um, so if I have to sing a Chinese song, normally I just sing the ones that I learned for my concerts. I don't really like. I like listening to pop Chinese songs, but I don't really sing them that much. I sing more classical Chinese songs. So the one that every concert asks me to sing is 我爱你中国 because of
And
course
what's the meaning?
I
What's the
love you
meaning of
China. I love you
oh
China. And I sing it with my heart because it's true. China gave me so much in these years, so I happily sing it. I can sing a little piece, but um, I don't. I don't feel like singing in video. I don't like it that much. I told you. I would just start, just the beginning. So it goes like this. 我爱你中国，我爱你，秋日今晚的说过。I think that's enough. But
wow.
the song is very long and it's very lovely. So I enjoy singing it. And I hope that the listeners also loved it as much as I do.
Wow, Beatrice, I'm so proud of you and my audience and everybody who will be watching you will be so proud of you that you can even sing in Chinese language. You are very versatile and you are used to so many things in China. Before we even leave this conversation or end today's episode, aside teaching and everything, how is life in China? Those who has never come to China before, how is your experience in China?
Mm, for now, I experienced so many different things that I cannot even pinpoint one. Definitely, one thing that might strike the foreigners that come here for the first time is that the prices of common things are way lower other than Western countries in general. So even just buying groceries is cheaper and more convenient. The transportation is extremely convenient, not only for the price, but also for availability. So you living in China for so long, you will be very familiar with the Didi, so the
Yeah.
corresponding of not really a taxi, but like the correspondent of an Uber in other countries. That is very, very easy to get and pretty cheap. And then, of course, the trains and the planes are easy to take and fast. And this is something that not everywhere you can find. And someone is suggesting, very true, China is safe and secure. And this I can see as a, as a woman, I feel very safe going out even at night. There is a park close by that I go to walk at, and sometimes I just go even at night and I feel extremely safe. I'm not scared. I know that there are cameras everywhere, and some people might say, "Oh wow, cameras, so you are controlled." That's not really how I feel. Like I feel that cameras make me actually be safer and more sure of, yeah, secure. So this definitely I like a lot about China. Then there are a lot of other things we can, even 1 hour would not be enough to say, but these are the first things that come to mind, definitely. Yeah. And of course, well
Oh, wow.
connected with the internet and apps for everything. So yeah.
That's nice. You know, me growing up in Ghana, most Ghanaians always want to be in Italy. And there are so many Ghanaians in Italy. So I found it, is it strange or surprising to hear an Italian saying China has this, China is safe and everything? Because most Ghanaians will not like, they will not prefer China to Italy. Are you saying that these conditions are more better than in Italy?
Um, Again, it depends, of course, in the cities. My city in Italy is a small city. It's pretty safe. Uh, I'm not scared of going out at night. But of course, it's a little different. It, it's it's a general feeling that China is safer, and again, the cameras are maybe the reason that make us feel safe. Or he, I never really hear about robberies or about this type of crimes, whereas in Italy, but also other countries. Now, of course, I can talk about Italy because that's where I lived, but
Yeah.
you can hear about this type of crimes. Mostly big cities, mostly some areas, not everywhere, definitely not everywhere. Um, yes, this is my opinion, but I'm not saying that I will never go back to Italy because it's unsafe. Absolutely not. That's the opposite. That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
You asked me what I feel in
I
China
got it. Yeah,
compared to
yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
countries, and that's what I felt. But you cannot really
Sure.
compare it with Italy. It's way different.
Interesting. Coming to China, and most Chinese guys see you a beautiful lady. How do the Chinese men react to you?
Curiosity, mainly curiosity, and I feel also, I don't want to say fear, of course, they're not scared of me, but they keep me pretty distant. Maybe because I'm taller than the usual. I am 1 meter 83, so of course that's tall, even even for Italy, but mostly like for China because that's way higher, taller than the normal, that the average, let's say. So
Yeah.
curiosity because I am tall, because I am blondish, and they're used to maybe tiny and dark haired um, ladies. They normally ask me if I'm either Russian or American. And when I say that I'm Italian, they're shocked and they always tell me either that, oh wow, that's an romantic language, or they say, oh, Italy is where they play very good football. And I say yes to both of these things. It's true. But apart from that, it's mainly curiosity, but not really. They don't really approach me that much, I have to say. No. I don't know about other
Wow.
um, maybe another physique, maybe they get approached more. For me personally, in 3 years, I never really got, like, I got Chinese friends, but not really male Chinese friends ever.
Oh,
I don't know why.
maybe they are too scared of the
Maybe.
beauty.
Thank you. Again, you're flattering me, but yes, they might be scared. Who knows?
Wow, interesting. Thank you so much, our dear Beatrice, for sharing so much with us. Your story is so inspiring to the extent that you are able to speak several languages. How are you able to manage to learn several languages? You can speak French, you can speak German, and all these languages. How did you do that?
I studied them in the years, so it's not. I didn't decide to study each of these languages at the same time, of course. For the English, I have to thank my mom because she made me study from a very young age. I remember watching some Disney movies in English and never in Italian. So I was very young, maybe I was 5 or 6. Then I had some English or American babysitters that introduced me to the listening of the English. So for the English, it's really my whole life that I've been studying it or listening to it or speaking it. So English, I don't even remember actually seriously studying it. So
Yeah.
it's very natural. French, I asked my mom to please find me a teacher because I love how it sounds. It's music for me. And so I studied it privately for many years. Again, thanking my mom that paid for the lessons. And then the other languages, so Spanish, German, and Chinese, I studied as an adult. And maybe for these reasons, they're the ones that I speak a little bit worse because it's renowned that if you learn languages when you're a child, you will learn them faster and easier, and you will remember them for a longer period. So that's, I think, why also. But then, of course, if you want to study a new language, you can just you have to decide, maybe just concentrate on one language at a time. That's my advice. And
Yeah.
find a good teacher that follows you and that maybe gets you some good materials, and use all of the technology that is out there because, for example, my lovely boyfriend that is listening to us is studying Italian, of course, for
Okay.
me. But he uses apps, and of course I speak to him in Italian as much as I can, even words
Yes.
here and there. And that's how you learn a language. You have to regularly be um, concentrated on the vocabulary, on the grammar, listening, speaking, like really keep doing it all the time, and then it will become natural. But of course, without a teacher, it's a little hard to start. This is what I want to underline. So
Yeah.
for anybody who wants to
Beatrice,
study a new language, please find a teacher, a good teacher, on websites, on in live or like this, and then be consistent, as with music.
You mentioned so many factors people should consider when they want to learn a language. But I know so many people, especially Chinese, who have all these things, yet they cannot speak any language they are learning. That tells me that it's not about those things. You are just gifted, smart, and talented. We are so proud to have you today for sharing your story. You have shown the art of bravery and courage to even take that bold decision to leave from Italy to come to China and changing lives, not only changing lives, imparting lives through opera singing. impacting life through cultural exchange. Through you, where several Chinese are learning so many things about your country, exchanging cultures, and so many things. We are so proud of you, and we can't wait to see amazing things in your life, amazing offers, and amazing concerts in China and in the future to come. And we can't wait to see you being one of the most famous opera singers in the world. Before we leave, I know
Wow.
so many people would like to contact you after this and reach you in so many aspects. If somebody wants to reach you, where can they contact you?
I have an Instagram that is I don't know where I can write the name, but maybe you can
Out.
add
Yeah.
it at the end of the video.
Yes. Sure.
Or I have a YouTube, I have WeChat. I'm very social, so you can contact me in many, many ways. And maybe I will give you the handle. You can add it and you can share it with our viewers. And I will be happy to help, even just to answer questions that um, might come out about my life here, about how to become an opera singer, about many, many things. So thank you so much for having me and for giving me the opportunity to show a little bit more about my job, about my passion, because I feel like nowadays opera feels old to many young people, but it's not supposed to be. It's a very, very fun thing to learn about. So I hope that we got some viewers curious also about it.
Nice. To our viewers who have stayed tuned from the beginning to the end, thank you very much for staying tuned, watching, commenting, and everything. It's because of you that we are here. And to our viewers who will be watching pre recorded, thank you very much for staying tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, follow this platform for more upcoming videos. It is the only live podcast based in China. Every week, we try to bring special guests, especially foreigners who are living in China, to share their life experience and what they are doing in China with you and the world. Before we leave, Beatrice, what are your last words before we leave?
Just to enjoy whatever you're doing and be brave. If you are scared about moving to another place, it's okay. But believe me, whenever you will find the courage to do it, you will have a new life and you might actually fall in love with the place that you moved to. So just keep trying, and exploring um, the world. And yeah, welcome to China if you want to come here.
Interesting. We want you to say something in Italian
Oh,
before we leave.
okay. Then I will just thank you in Italian. Grazie mille per avermi invitata in questo podcast e viva la musica, viva l'opera, viva l'Italia, viva la Cina. I wonder who understood this,
Oh,
but
I didn't even know whether you've ended or you are still speaking.
it was very good. I
Oh,
just thanked you and I said that long live China, Italy, music, opera, and thank you so much for having me here.
the only French I know is merci beaucoup,
But
Beatrice.
that's French.
Thank you
That's not
very much.
Italian.
I mean
Don't be
French,
like
yeah. I mean the only.
don't don't be like the people that get confused. Oh, you're from Italy, so you speak Spanish. No, Italians speak Italian. No French, no Spanish, Italian.
Okay, I want to speak French now. Merci beaucoup for coming, and thank you very much for your time and everything. And to our viewers, thank you very much for staying tuned. See you next week or next time for another live show on this platform where we'll be having another special guest who has lived in China for several years. Until then, see you. This is where time will permit us to end today's life. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.